right, guys, welcome to the session, and I hope all of you guys are doing good. So let's get started with today's class. Before we proceed further for today's class, I just wanted to let you know that today's class will be a bit of a overview, right? It's not gonna be like you will see a lot of codes today, but you will not understand that code. That is quite understandable. But the main agenda here is to help you understand that what all type of applications we can build using large language models. We had a basic understanding of that in the last class. And in today's class, we'll see some of the advanced things. We are not aware of Python and all, so I'm not expecting that you understand the code, but I want you guys to understand about the functionality of the same, right? How actually this is coming in and what is the benefit you will get while implementing this type of solutions, right? Also, bit of a mathematics I will cover, right? Which will be helping you understand about how these type of solutions work, right? So we'll try to understand bit of a mathematics. I will try to make it simple and we'll try to understand how it actually works. Okay. So with that note, let's get started. And again, the idea is that if you're understanding it is fine. If you're not, that is also okay. The main aim which I have here is to help you understand that these are the things which are happening in the industry as of now. And once you are completing your entire curriculum, then you will understand all these things and you will start maybe working on these type of concepts as well. So that is the reason this is what I wanted to discuss. Okay. So what are we going to work on today? Or what are we going to see today? So here you can see that I have created one chatbot, which is basically on some dummy data. And it has, like, let's assume that we have a company, The Scholar, which is into edtech, and it has certain courses in that particular company, and we just wanted to get certain details about that, right? So this is the basic chatbot which we have created out here. So if you ask any random question here, it will respond. So I have put certain questions out here. So for example, let's take one of the questions from here that, for example, let's say, is there any project included in machine learning course, right? So if I go and put this particular question out here, and if I ask to the chatbot, you can see that it is giving me the responses. So basically, we'll try to understand how actually it is understanding that and what is going on under the hood, right? So the idea here is that to help you understand about these type of things can be done, and we are using our own data, right? Because The Scholar is a company which has its own data, and we are using that, and we are trying to create this type of application. And under the hood, how the things are happening, I'll give you a brief idea about that, and just to help you understand about the entire flow, right? So we'll try to make it simple. So let's get into the slides first, and then we'll jump into a bit of a code. Now, first of all, if I talk about this concept, before that, I want to talk about very important concept. Now we know from the last class discussion, we had an understanding that large language models, the name large language models coming in because it has trained on huge amount of data, right? Now, as it has trained on huge amount of data and at the same time, the size of the model is quite big. So what I wanted to highlight here is that what if I will be implementing or what if I will be saving this model in my machine? Is that really possible? So that is what the comparison which I am showing you here. So if you see here, as of now, the laptop which I am having is having this configuration, right? This is my laptop, which has 32 GB of RAM, 500 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of GPU, one mid-tier GPU, and it costed me around 1.25 lakhs, right? This is the laptop which I am having as of now, which I am using. Now my question here is that, or my thinking here is that basically, the OpenAI model which they have created, can I somehow put in my machine? Is that really possible? We know it's a model which has trained on huge amount of data. So obviously the size of the model will be very big, right? So I cannot do that. Although OpenAI does not give me that permission as well, but let's assume, because there are a lot of other models which I can download in my machine, but they have given the smaller version of it, right? For example, DeepSeek. I can download DeepSeek in my machine, but it's not an entire full model. It's like a distilled model. It's more like, you can say, a subset of the model, right? It's a smaller model. तो पूरा डीप सीक तो मैं डाल नहीं सकता बिकॉज इट्स अ बिग मॉडल, बट मैं उसका एक छोटा पार्ट अपने लैपटॉप में डाल सकता हूँ बिकॉज माई मशीन इज नॉट हैवी. So what I'm saying here is that OpenAI trained on huge amount of parameters and huge amount of data sets, right? So the model is very heavy. So if I want to somehow download that particular model in my machine, what will be the size of my machine? So this is the size which your machine should have, right? So the idea is that if you want to download the OpenAI model, which is the full-fledged model, in your laptop, it is not possible. And if you are trying to do that, the configuration of the laptop should be 1.5 to 2 terabytes, which is like 1500 to 2000 GB of RAM, right? You can understand it's a quite heavy machine. How much time? 50 to 60 times bigger than my laptop. How much storage I can have? I should have 6 to 10 terabytes. That is 12 to 20 times of my laptop. How much GPU it is required? 640 to 1000 GB of GPU, which is 100 times my laptop, or more than 100 times, I can say. All these various advanced GPUs I want. What will be the cost of that machine? It will be costing around 3.5 to 6 crores, right? So if I want a laptop where I can put my OpenAI models, I should have this much of money and this configuration, which is not possible, right? It's very expensive. As a company, I can do that, but as an individual, I cannot do that. So now, what is the solution? I want to leverage that OpenAI model. So the solution here is that normally companies, what they do, they create APIs, right? Now, what is an API? API is like, you can say, a what do you say, a system, basically, right? A link. As of now, we are going to get a key, API key. You must have heard about this API or API key, right? So the full form of API, first of all, is application programming interface. Okay. What does that mean? That means that OpenAI told us that, okay, do one thing. You cannot download that entire model in your machine. It's a constraint. First of all, I don't want you to download. Second, if you are trying to do that, you cannot do that because it's a very heavy model. So what I am giving you as an OpenAI, I will give you an option to get the key to that particular model, right? So here you can see the flow. This is OpenAI data center where they have put that OpenAI model. That is your OpenAI, let's say 404 model, right? There are various models, GPT-4, GPT-3, GPT 3.5, 4004, right? All those models are there. So what they are saying is that you use your laptop, you can access the API. I will give you access to the API. For that, I will charge, obviously. You get that API and then you go ahead and use that API and do whatever you want to do with the model, right? So the model is there, which is present in my data center. You got the API access. As a layman, you can try to understand it something like it's a house and they are giving you the key for it to access some of the things, right? So that access I will give you. Do whatever you want to do with my model. You cannot change it. You can just use it. So use it. I will charge for the same. Once you will ask something to the model will understand that and it will give you the response, right? That is the idea. So API is like, you can say, a medium to connect to the OpenAI models and leverage the power of that models in your application. For example, I am creating a chatbot. And what I want is I want the chatbot to be driven by OpenAI models. How can I do that? For that, I need the API key. API key I will pass in my model. And after that, what will happen? Whatever questions I will ask, that API key will access the model. Model will understand my question. And based on that, it will respond back to me. That is the entire flow, right? Now, how will I get this access to the API? For this, you have to go ahead and you have to access from the official website of OpenAI. So here you can see this is the link where you have to go. That is platform.openai.com. Here you can see that I have around $6 of amount which I have recharged. You have to pay the amount. It's something like a prepaid balance, right? And OpenAI will keep deducting the same based on your usages. Here you can see if you go to usage, here you can see the usage which I have. So you can see on 17th of June, I had $0.22 of usage. On 18th of June, it is 0.11 and so on, so forth. So based on the usage, it is deducting the money. Okay. Now how it will charge? Now that try to understand. Suppose I am using a chatbot and my user is asking some question. What will happen? This question will go to your OpenAI model. Model will understand what this guy is asking. That means model is trying to understand what the question is. That is a cost. OpenAI will charge for it. Because as you are passing the question, OpenAI model will have to understand that what you are asking actually. So that will be a cost. Now, once it is done, OpenAI model will respond based on the question being asked. That will be a cost as well, right? So basically, whatever you are passing as a prompt, what is a prompt? Prompt is nothing but the chat which you are doing with the model. That's why it is very important to write a proper prompt. Because if you are passing some random prompts, right? OpenAI will charge. OpenAI don't have any problem, but you will have to pay more. So your prompt should be very correct. Prompt should be very refined. That's why a job role came in, which is prompt engineers, right? There is very important job roles in the US. In India also it will come soon. Prompt engineers. They are designing the prompts that if someone is logging to my application, what all questions they should ask, right? So these guys will finalize the correct prompts which user should ask. User should not ask apart from that. So that is a cost which I have to reduce. That is in my hand, right? That is in my hand. If user will pass the correct prompt, I will save a lot of cost. Output is also in my hand, that I want to restrict the output. For example, let's say I say if user is asking any question, the response should not be more than 100 words, right? Because it's the cost is based on the tokens. If you go back to the official website of your this thing, right? OpenAI, you can see here it is charging based on the tokens. As a layman, as of now, you understand tokens as a word, right? Token is actually nothing but you are breaking the sentences. But as of now, try to understand that token is like a word. More the words it will respond, more the cost it will have. That's why I can restrict that also, that okay, respond only on these many words. So whenever we are using this API of any model, whether it could be from OpenAI, it could be from Google, Gemini, or so on, they will charge for the same. You have to prepaid this, you have to pay in advance, and they will charge based on your balance. If your balance will become zero, you will not able to use that. It's something like a prepaid concept. So here is the cost coming in. So now the chatbot which I am going to run, obviously it will be a cost, right? When I will ask any question, what all courses you have and all those things, it will be a charge for me, right? It will hit the LLM. LLM will understand what I am asking, and then it will respond based on that. So it will be input and output, both the cost will be coming in. As of now, if you see here, the total cost till on today is less than $0.01, right? If I will play with my chatbot, which I will show you later on, it will increase the cost, right? Because my usage will increase. So what is an API? API is nothing but application programming interface, which is basically helping me to connect to the power of LLMs. API can be for anything, right? As of now, here this API is for the large language models. Same way, you will get a lot of API for various companies as well. For example, let's say I want to know the weather of Gurgaon, and I want to know the weather of Gurgaon in my application. So what I will do is I will connect my application with the weather app API. So it will hit the API, give me the response. So API we are using quite extensively for interaction between the different apps. So here also API is what we are going to use. I will get my API. I will put it in my chatbot, and chatbot can use, like when I type the questions, chatbot will be hit that API to the OpenAI model and it will respond back to me. Are you guys understanding this flow, all of you? What is API and how it is actually working? As a basic, I'm not talking about advanced concept. I'm just talking about the basic idea, right? Just the flow, if you're understanding it, that is what my aim is. Because we are not technically sound as of now, I am not expecting that you should understand the entire technicalities. Okay. My interest is just to help you understand that how the things are going on. So if you're understanding the basic concept, we are good. All right. So let's proceed now. Now, what are we going to do here, right? I will give you a brief idea about what are we going to do. Or basically, I already created the app and I will be just showing you some of the codes. But I wanted to give you a bit of a architecture details, right? How actually things are happening. Very interesting, very mathematical oriented, right? You will enjoy that. Again, don't get into technicalities as of now because again we are not technically sound as of now, but we are aware of bit of a mathematics, right? So we'll touch upon bit of a mathematics here, and we'll see that how this entire thing working, right? Very interesting concept. We'll try to understand this. Before I help you understand this entire diagram, right? I will first show you my chatbot ka code. So if I go back to my chatbot, give me a second. So what I'll do is I'll open in the Visual Studio. All this, what is Visual Studio and all those things you will learn later on. So don't worry about that. Okay, I want to open this folder. Give me a sec. Okay. This is my main app, right? This is my main app. Here actually nothing is happening as such. What is happening here is that it is just creating the front end. The front end which we have just seen, right, in the app. This front end, whatever you can see in this particular screen, the Scholar AI course. You can see this cloud type of icon, chat icon, right? You can see everything out here. You can see here, this is the title and all those things. So this entire code which you can see is only for your front end. So no model and nothing called here. It's just a front end. You can see here, we have the user, we have the assistant and all those icons coming in, right? Here you can see the bot response, save bot, and all those things are there. It's just a basic code. As of now, you will not understand. That's okay. But it's a front end code basically, right? The Scholar chatbot. So if you go here, you can see the Scholar AI, right? You can see coming in. And here you can see this is the user question. This is the robot question. Here you have the option of typing the question. You will see that here as well. Chat input. Ask me about your courses, right? Ask me about our courses. So this particular user input is coming in. So that's this particular area which you can see is coming because of this guy, right? If I change this and if I refresh there, it will change. Okay. For example, क्या हाल है? And let me save it. And now let me rerun this. You can see here it's getting changed, right? So it's a simple front end which we are going to learn in the future sessions as well. But here nothing is happening as such. Now, where is the main files? What I wanted to show you as of now, I don't want to show you the entire code. I wanted to show you that from where OpenAI model getting the information about my courses, right? If you see here, I asked what all courses you have. So it is saying that we have the Python for beginners, generative AI for with OpenAI, artificial intelligence fundamentals, and machine learning projects. But where is that information? Where did you put that? From where it is reading that information? So let me go back to my application, and here you can see there is one folder called data. And in this particular data, I put this text file. And this text file is what? You can see here, I have a Python for beginners course. I have the generative AI for OpenAI course, artificial intelligence fundamentals, machine learning with projects, and then support email, right? So this is the information which OpenAI is accessing. And based on that, it is responding. For example, let's say I will ask, okay, do we have any course where capstone project is there, right? You can see only in this particular course, capstone project is there. In other, there is no projects are there, but capstone project is only present here. So let me ask, do we have any course where capstone project is there, right? So now it will hit the text file, get me the information, and you can see it is gonna come. Yes, in the artificial intelligence fundamentals course includes a capstone project. Why it is saying only artificial intelligence fundamental? The reason is because it is only present in the artificial intelligence fundamentals. That's why it is saying that, yeah, it's there in that, right? So that is what happening. Now, as of now, I put this text file. I can connect to my database also. I can connect to my server also. I can connect to my website also. Whatever data source you have, you can connect with anything. I just did this for demo purpose today, but we can connect to various databases as well, right? So now this is what happening. Now let me come back to this picture. Now let's try to relate the chatbot with what we did there, right? So this is the document, right? This is the document which I uploaded in S3 bucket. Don't worry about S3 bucket. It's just something like a Google Drive, you can say, right? So as of now, it's in my local machine only, so you can ignore this part. So as of now, you can just focus on this document, right? So this is what document? This is nothing but my this document, course faq.txt. So this is my course faq.txt. Now what is happening? This document will be broken down into multiple splits. Internally, what will happen? It will break down into multiple splits. Now, why it will break down into multiple splits? Try to understand this. Suppose, let's say I have a very bigger document, right? Let's say I have a document with, let's say, thousands and thousands of words. Now in the last class I told you that LLMs are stateless. LLMs does not have the memory. So what are we doing is we are giving the memory. But when we are giving the memory, we are giving a limited memory, right? I can give a limited memory that, okay, you can remember up till, let's say, 8,000 words. You can remember up to 10,000 words. So I cannot give more memory because see, everything is running in the RAM memory and I cannot run a heavy chatbot. So what I am doing is I am restricting that memory. I am saying that, okay, do one thing. You can remember only last 5 conversations, or you can remember only last 8,000 words, or you can remember only 8,000 words, whichever 8,000 words you have, something like that. So basically, I want to restrict my memory because I cannot give more memory to the chatbot, because if I will give that, my machine will get hanged. Because again, my machine is very small. If I'm having a bigger machine also, I cannot give a lot of memory, right? We have the restriction out there when we are dealing with a bigger documents. As of now, the document is not that big, but when we are dealing with bigger documents. So what we do is we split. So basically, let's say I have this a big document out here with a lot of lines. So now what will happen is that your machine will, the code which I have written, basically, that will break this document into multiple splits. Now let me show you that in the code part as well. I hope it is there. Just give me a second. Here you can see chunk size. So what I'm saying is I want 300 characters per split. So I am taking 300 characters per split as a text splitter. And what I'm saying is that I want an overlap of 50 characters. Now, what does that mean? Let's come back to that PPT. And again, don't worry about the code. Just try to understand the logic behind it. Why we are doing it, right? That is important. Machine can generate the code for you, but understanding the concept is important, right? So if you're understanding the concept, which is good, and that is what I'm looking for. So what is that overlap means? So what machine will do is, I have this lot of lines of code. And what I'm saying is that I will be taking 300 characters. Let's say these are the 300 characters. So that is the first split. Now the second split will be an overlap of 50 characters and total 300 characters. That means क्या? ये 300 characters है और ये 300 characters है और इन दोनों के split के बीच में 50 character overlap हो रखा है, right? There is an overlap between the two splits. And what is the reason for it? Because there can be a chance कि मेरा एक sentence चल रहा है. For example, let's say I love cricket and I want to see the match tonight and will have nice dinner. I want to study hard and I want to get placed. Right? These are the two sentences. And both the sentence has different meaning altogether. Now suppose I am splitting something like this. This is my first chunk, which is cut up till here. This is my first chunk. And let's say this is my second chunk, right? Now automatically you can see that if you see the second chunk, what is happening? will have a nice dinner. I want to study hard and I want to get a good job. So from here, what are you understanding? You're understanding that I will have a nice dinner and then I will study hard. But actually, what is the context? The context is I love cricket. I want to see the match tonight and I want to have a nice dinner along with the match. So here, as I split it into like this, the context is wrong. But what if I will do an overlap? What if I will have something like this? This is one chunk and this is another chunk, right? So now as there is an overlap, I will get to know, LLM will get to know, okay, this sentence is continuation, right? It will understand till here and I will have. And second chunk, it will understand nice dinner. So, okay, it's an entire one sentence only, right? That's why that overlap is required. Because when we are talking about certain topics, there can be a chance that I'm shifting from one topic to another topic. So how will I get to know that it actually got shifted? So that's the reason we try to have the overlaps, so that if there is any missing context, I can try to understand that. Till this point, are you guys getting it, all of you? Why we are splitting it and why we are having this overlap? Again, as a layman only, I am asking, right? I don't want you to understand very much in detail, but the brief idea about it. Okay. All right. So now we splitted the document, right? So here you can see I have a split 1, I have a split 2, I have a split 3, I have a split 4, I have a split 5, and so on, so forth. Now, machines can only understand numbers. Machines cannot understand characters. So now what I have to do is I have to convert the characters to numbers, right? I have to convert the characters to numbers. That process is known as embedding. You see this embedding concept out here. So basically, I am converting my entire splits into numbers. Okay. That is what happening here. Now, how it is happening, I'll show you an example so that you will understand, right? So let me go to next slide and explain that first, then we'll come back to this slide. Because my intention is that you should understand this image perfectly. Any single doubt you have, let me know. Okay. So let's get into the next slide. This one. Okay. Now see this. I have 3 sentences. I love data science. I love data analysis. And I love Java programming. Let's say it's a split number 1. This is split number 2. And this is split number 3. Okay. Now what I told you, I want to do the embedding. I want to convert the text to numbers. This is one of the ways of converting the text to number. There are various advanced ways are also available, but I just wanted to give you the basic understanding. So now what is happening here? Let's try to understand. I love data science. I love data analysis. I love data. It's repetitive, right? So I love data. Then we have science. So science is there. Then we have analysis. Analysis is there. I love is already there. Java. Java is there. Programming. Programming is there. So what I did is I took all the unique words from all the sentences and I created this table. Now what I'm doing is I am giving 1 if that word is present and I am giving 0 if that word is not present, right? So if you see here, for the first sentence, I love data science. So I love data science, but rest are zeros because those words are not present in my first split. Let's go to second word, second sentence or second split. I love data analysis. Science is not there, Java is not there, programming is not there. So those are zeros. Then I love Java programming. I love Java programming. These are the words which are not present. So this is basically I am converting my textual data to numerical data. This is one of the ways of converting the text to numbers. There are a lot of advanced techniques are also available, but as of now we are discussing because we are very new, so I am not discussing anything advanced. So this way I converted. 1 means the word is present, 0 means the word is absent. Are you guys clear with this, all of you? Conversion of text to words. Sorry, words to numbers. Make sense? We'll get into a bit of maths also, but first of all, let's go back to the PPT, previous PPT. So now what happened? We got these embeddings, right? Embeddings is nothing but numbers. Okay. Now, these numbers I will store in a database. These numbers are also known as vectors. Now let's get into a bit of mathematics so that we'll understand this. You must have studied in your school days about linear algebra, right? So if I am having a single number, we call it as a scalar quantity. Geometrically, it is known as a point. If we are having multiple values, this is known as vector quantity, right? Which is also geometrically known as line. Then we have a matrix. It's a matrix. Or I can say it's a collection of vectors, right? It's a collection of 1 vector, 2 vector, 3 vector. It's a collection of vectors. And then collection of matrix is known as tensors. Collection of matrix is known as tensors. Now let me go back to that PPT. Now can I say that it's a vector? This entire one row is a vector. Collection of numbers, right? It's a vector. It's a vector. This is a vector for my first sentence. This is a vector for my second sentence. And this is a vector for my third sentence. So basically, I am trying to store these vectors, right? I am trying to store these vectors. Where I am trying to store these vectors? I am trying to store these vectors in this database. That is why this database is known as vector database, right? Vector database. Because it stores the vectors. There are a lot of different vector databases are available. One is your Pinecone. One is your FAISS, which is from Facebook. One is your ChromaDB. And there are other vector databases are also available. Vector databases are nothing but which is basically storing the data in a vector form. Because we are storing the text into numbers and those numbers are nothing but collection of vectors. So we are storing that vectors. If you go back to my code, let's go to this code here. Let me clean this. Yeah. So here you can see somewhere. Yeah, you can see chroma from documents, vector, local database. So we are storing that information. We are storing that in the chroma database, vector DB. If you go back to my folder, you can see that database also. Let me go to that folder. That okay, you can see in here also. That's fine. Here you can see Chroma store, right? Here you can see this is my database. This is my database. Internally, it is storing that entire data into this database. I cannot access that, but here you can see the entire information is getting stored. Okay. If I open this, you can see that it's like more of a binary information like that. You'll not see that actually. I can show you that in the text file. Give me a second. The Scholar. Here you can see, right? You will not understand that because it's all stored in the binary format. Okay. So that is my vector database. So basically vector database is nothing but where I am storing the vectors. What type of vectors? These type of vectors. This is my first row. This is my first row, which I will store. This is my second row, which I will store. This is my third row, which I will store, and so on, so forth. Okay. So that is what happening at this particular point. So you can, as a layman, can say that whatever that course FAQ file I have, the course FAQ file which we have seen out here, it got stored. It got stored in my vector database as numbers, right? So I had a lot of text. I broke the text into splits. I converted that to numbers, and then I stored that into the vector database. That means directly or indirectly, whatever is present in this particular database is nothing but this document only, but in the number form. Okay. Till this point, are you guys getting it, all of you? Till this above part, all clear? Architecture point of view. Anything which you are not clear with, you can let me know. I can repeat that. But why we are discussing this? If people are talking about all these concepts, you should be not blank, right? तुमसे बोल रहे हैं कि हम लोग ये कर रहे हैं, रैक बना रहे हैं, तुमको पता होना चाहिए क्या हो रहा है. That's why I'm discussing this in the initial days, because ये सब बहुत चल रहा है. तो you will not be ऐसे, हम लोग बेवकूफ बनकर नहीं खड़े हो सकते. We should able to participate, right? People should aware that what we are doing and like what they are doing, I should be also aware of that, right? That's the idea. All right, so now let's proceed further. Now what happens? Okay, till this point, everything is fine. You store the data into the vector database as a numbers, but now what next? How am I getting the answers? If I am saying that, okay, what all courses you have, why or how I am getting the answers? What is happening? Let's try to understand this now. Okay. I'll explain this particular picture in some time. I will go back to this picture, right, to understand this bit of mathematics. Now there is a concept of cosine similarity, right? This is one of the measures which we are using. Apart from that, there are other measures as well, like Euclidean distance and all those things, which you guys will be learning in the machine learning class. Okay. Let's try to understand with these examples. I love data science, I love data analytics, and I love Java programming. Can I say that these two sentences are of same type, all of you? Because both are related to data. Can I say that? Yes. Java programming is altogether a separate programming language, right? It's like more of a website development and all those things. But data analytics and data science are of same type of job roles. That I know, that you know. But how machine will know? What is going to happen? How machine will intelligently understand this? A very interesting mathematical concept we are going to discuss now. But for that, I have to introduce a bit of mathematics. Suppose I have two vectors, right? Suppose I have two vectors. Because see, again, we have three vectors out here. So we have to do some mathematics out there. So let's take one example. Suppose I have a vector A, which is A1, comma A2, comma A3, AN. This is my vector. And I have vector B, right? That is B1, comma B2, comma B3, and Bn. Now what I want to do is, if you go back to the formula, I want to multiply the vectors A dot B. If there are two vectors, I can do two types of multiplication in the vector. One is known as dot product. Second is known as cross product, right? So now, as of now, what we are going to do is, for machine learning point of view, we only do the dot product. There is no cross product required. So let's try to understand how dot product works. I want to do A dot B. So what is the formula for A dot B? A1 into B1 plus A2 into B2 plus A2 into B3, A3 into B3, sorry, plus AN into BN. Okay. This is the dot product of A dot B. If I will generalize this formula, I can say that summation of I is equal to, because we are summing it up, right? Summing it up. So summation of I is equal to 1 to N AI BI. Okay. So this is my A dot B. That is the formula. So if I go back to this formula, I got to know what A dot B means. A dot B means nothing but this into this plus this into this plus this into this plus this into this, like that. Second is length of A and length of B. I want to calculate that. For that, let me help you understand with a picture. Let's say A is the vector which is present here, right? And what is the length of A? Length of A is nothing but from origin. Origin is your 0, 0, right? And here A is what? A is nothing but, let's say, A1, A2. It can be any size vector. It can be any size vector, right? N dimension vector. Here you can see we have 2 dimension vector. It can be any size. That's okay. Depend on कितने dimensions हैं. As of now मैं 2 लेके चल रहा हूँ. I want to find this distance. Length of A is what? Length of A is nothing but this distance. This distance from the origin, right? So I can apply a simple Pythagoras theorem. If you guys remember the Pythagoras theorem, I will drop this point out here. I will drop this point out here. So what is this length? This is nothing but your A1, and this is nothing but your A2, right? This is your A2, this is your A1. So I can calculate that. How can I calculate that? I want to calculate this length and this length. The square of this length is this length, right? What is Pythagoras theorem? Pythagoras theorem is nothing but, I have this, let's say this is my data. What is D? What is D? This is nothing but, let's say this is my A and this is my B, for example. So A square plus B square. Square root of that is D, right? That is my distance D. So that is what I want to do here as well. I have this vector A1 and B, A1 and A2, sorry. This is my A1, A2. This is my 0. So this is X, this is Y. So this is my A1, because this is A1. A1 minus 0 is A1 only. So this distance is A1. ये पूरा का पूरा distance A1 हो गया. और इसको यहाँ पर लाई करते हैं अगर, तो ये पूरा का पूरा distance A2 हो गया, which is this A2. Right? Now what is my D then? We know the formula. D is nothing but A1 square plus A2 square ka square root. Right? That is my D. Are you guys getting this, all of you? Simple Pythagoras theorem. which you must have studied in your school also. Okay. This distance is also known as Euclidean distance, right? This distance is also known as Euclidean distance. Okay? Now, let's come to this example. Now I have three vectors out here, and I want to use this formula to get my cosine similarity. We'll understand what cosine similarity is as of now. Let's calculate that first. Okay. I have these three vectors. Let me go and let me create a table and let me do the calculation there in my whiteboard. Okay. So I have, let's write that here. I love data science, analytics, Java programming, Java programming. Okay. First sentence is I love data science. I love data analytics. I love Java programming. These are the three vectors which I have. Now I want to do what? What machine will do basically? Machine will calculate the cosine similarity. Let's compare these two vectors. Then let's compare these two vectors. Then let's compare these two vectors. Right? Let's call this vector as A. Let's call this vector as B. And let's call this vector as C. Okay, this is my one vector. This is my second vector. And this is my third vector. Let me do A and B ka comparison. What is the formula? A dot B upon length of A, length of B. That was the formula. So now first calculate A dot B. We know the formula for A dot B. This multiply by this, plus 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 this multiply by this. So let's do that. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, plus 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, plus 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, plus 1 multiplied by 0 is 0, plus 1 multiplied by 0 is 0, plus 0 multiplied by 0 is 0, plus 0 multiplied by 0 is 0. Right? 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So we got this number. That is nothing but 3. So I got my numerator. Now I will be calculating my denominator. Now denominator is what? I want to calculate the distance length of A from the origin. So how will I find the length of, like if you go back to the formula right here, I have 1 and origin is 0. So 1 minus 0 is 1 only, right? So same way here also same thing will happen. 1 minus 0 origin is 1 only. So my denominator will be, for length of A will be, I'm calculating here and I'll put it here, right? So 1 minus 0 का square plus 1 minus, because इसको मुझे ओरिजिन से कंपेयर करना है, राइट? तो ओरिजिन तो सारे जीरो ही होंगे, ये भी जीरो, ये भी जीरो, 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 जीरो। ओरिजिन क्या होता है? सारे पॉइंट जीरो, तो सारे जीरो हैं। तो 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर इज 1, प्लस 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 0 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर इज 0, 0 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर इज 0, 0 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर इज 0। तो क्या हुआ? 1 1 1 1, 4 1 हो गए, 4 1 का स्क्वायर 4 हो गया। तो 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर, 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर, 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर एंड 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर, तो कितना हो गया? 4 हो गया। तो यहाँ पे 4 आ जाएगा। सेम वे बी का हम करेंगे, राइट? आई हैव टू कैलकुलेट द बी का लेंथ फ्रॉम ओरिजिन। सो 0 0 0 0 0 0 0, ये क्या होगा? 1 माइनस जीरो का स्क्वायर 1, 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर 1, 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर 1, 0 माइनस जीरो इज 0, 1 माइनस जीरो स्क्वायर 1, 0 माइनस जीरो इज 0, 0 माइनस जीरो 0, दैट इज ऑल्सो 4, 1 2 3 4, so that is also 4. It's a multiplication, so 4 into 4 is 16, so this is coming out to be 3 by 16, right? So the value of this guy is coming out to be 3 by 16. Okay. Let's keep it aside. Now let's do the same calculation for A and C. Okay. First we'll calculate A dot C. That is 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 0 plus 1 into 0 plus 0 into 0 plus 0 into 0 and 0 into 0. 0 into 1. 0 ही होगा है ना? तो 1 into 1 is what? 1. 1 into 1 is 1. 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That means 2, right? 1 into 1 is 1 plus 1 into 1 is 1. बाकी सारे 0 ही हैं. तो A dot C will be 2 upon. I will calculate the distance from the origin. 1 2 3 4 है यहाँ पे 1 2 3 4 यहाँ पे भी 4 है, तो 4 ही होगा. तो 4 into 4, that is 16. So that is 2 by 16. Now same way here also the things will happen, right? So here I will calculate with A and B. अच्छा A B तो कर लिया हमने, B C करना है, right? A B we already did that. Now we'll do B C. So 1 into 1 1, 1 into 1 1, 1 into 0 0 0 0 0 0. मतलब यहाँ पे भी 2 हो जाएगा. 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into 1 is 1, बाकी सारे 0 हैं. और सेम यहाँ पे भी 4 है, यहाँ पे भी 4 है, तो 4 by 4 16. So B into C will be 2 by 16 as well, right? So that is the values which we got. Till this point, are you guys clear, all of you? A dot B is 3 by 16. A dot C is 2 by 16. And B dot C is 2 by 16 as well. ठीक है, ये हमको मिल गया. So let's put it here. So I got my A dot B upon length of A into length of B is 3 by 16. B dot C upon length of B, length of C is 2 by 16. And length of A and length of C is coming out to be 2 by 16 as well. Okay. Now let's do the fraction out here. Like division, LC. Let me open LC. So 2 by 16 is how much? 0.125. And 3 by 16 is how much? 0.1875. That means A and B, I am getting 0.1875. A and C, I am getting 0.125. And B and C also I am getting 0.125. Okay. Now, I got these numbers. Now, what is the benefit of these numbers? Now, if you see, what do you say? Cos theta, right? Because we are calculating the cosine similarity. What is cos 0? Cos 0 is nothing but 1. When the angle between, when the cos theta is 0, the value is 1. When the cos theta is 45, the value is 0.707. When the cos theta is 90 degree, the value is 0. And when the cos theta is 180 degree, the value is -1. What it means? It means that if, let's say, I am having one vector and I am having another vector, and the angle between the two vector is 90 degree. What is cos 90? Cos 90 is coming out to be 0. अब इसको समझो, very interesting concept. Suppose this is Three Idiots movie, right? And this is, let's say, some terrorism movie. Both are different, right? Three Idiots is more like a comedy movie. Terrorism is more like a very hardcore action movie. So both are far apart. And as both are far apart, the angle is bigger. But let's say another movie comes in, Dil Chahta Hai. Now, can I say Dil Chahta Hai is more like a friend type of movie, which is more like a Three Idiots? So in that case, that movie will be somewhere here. And the angle between these two movies will be lesser. And when the angle is lesser, automatically your cos value will be bigger. जब cos 0 होता है तुम्हारा वैल्यू 1 है, cos 90 होता है तुम्हारा वैल्यू 0 है. That means when your angle is increasing, right? Let's say this is one vector, this is one vector, and this is one vector, and this is one vector. I can clearly say that these two vectors are of same type because the angle is very less. I can clearly say that these two vectors are of different type because the angle is very more. Angle is very high, right? Are you understanding this, all of you? What I'm saying here? Okay. So what is the behavior of cos theta? The behavior of cos theta is that if you are closer, the value of cos theta will be higher. If you are farther, your value of cos theta will be lower. Right? That is what the behavior is. Now let's come back to your A, B, A, C, B, C. What is the value for A dot B? 0.1875 something. What is the value of A dot C? 0.125. And what is the value of B dot C? 0.125. Which one is bigger? A dot B. Now A dot B is bigger. What does that mean? If A dot B is bigger, that means the angle between A and B is less. And if the angle between A and B is less, what does that mean? They are more closer. Are you guys understanding this, all of you? How things are happening here? Simple. I need response from all the learners. 10, 12, whatever. So that is what happening here. Right? That is how machine understands that if you're asking something, what information I want to fetch it out. Right? We'll understand that in the architecture diagram as well. But this is the base concept. Okay. Now let me go back to one slide back. Here you can see. User is asking, tell me about COVID-19. Now what will happen? When user is asking, tell me about COVID-19, that tell me about COVID-19 will be converted to numbers. Because machine will not understand the text. Machine always understands the number. So when I am saying, tell me about what all courses you have, machine will convert that sentence into number, into vector. And after that, let's take this example. Tell me about COVID-19. It will convert that to number, the vector. And also, machine has the information about asthma as one vector, COVID-19 as second vector, and cancer as third vector. This is my V1, that is asthma. This is my V2, that is COVID-19. And this is my V3, that is cancer. Now, when user is asking, tell me about COVID-19, it is converting that to a vector. I am calling it as input vector, IV. And now it will calculate that cosine similarity. And it finds out that this particular IV is closer to vector 2. Now, as this particular IV is closer to vector 2, chatbot will go to vector 2, hit the information and give that information back to the user. Right? That is what happened. Right? That is the entire concept. So now let me go back to the main architecture which we have. Same thing I have explained here as well. User is asking one query. What all courses you have, or in which course you have the capstone project. So capstone project will be a vector, and there will be one capstone project is present in the vector database as well, right? It is present here also a vector data in the database capstone project for that artificial intelligence project. So when user will pass in which course you have the capstone project, it will hit. From here I will get the information. Like basically what happens, understand the flow. So this input embedding capstone project, it will get converted to vector. It will search out here. It will fetch out those documents, those splits which has capstone project present. It will take that information and put it here in the system query. Here it is combining the user query as well as the chunk coming from the vector database. Because see, there can be a chance that in the bigger document capstone project may be present multiple times. तो यहाँ पे मल्टीपल स्प्लिट्स में कैप्स्टोन प्रोजेक्ट हो सकता है. तो इट विल पिक अप मल्टीपल एम्बेडिंग्स जो कि यहाँ पे स्टोर्ड है, उसको उठाएगा और यहाँ पर लेके आएगा. जो भी पेजेस में कैप्स्टोन प्रोजेक्ट लिखा हुआ है वो सारे पेजेस यहाँ पर आ जाएंगे, राइट. So all the pages where the capstone project is written will be coming here, plus the user input embedding, which is nothing but your user query, which is a vector, that is also present there. Now it will combine the user query and all the pages where the capstone project is present. All the pages will be coming in. It will be looking at the user query, combining that, and then fetching out that, giving that information to large language model, that is your OpenAI API. And from there, it is understanding what I have to respond, and based on that, it will respond the output. And all happening because of that cosine similarity concept, right? So this is the entire architecture. I have the official document. I am splitting that document into multiple splits. After that, I am converting that to numbers because machine can only understand numbers. As these are vectors, I am storing that into the vector database. Now the data is present in your vector database as numbers. Now user is asking any question. It will convert to a vector as well. It will search in the database that what he is asking. Based on that, give me all the vectors or all the splits which has those words. It will take that information and put in the system query. Here I will have all the pages with all those words like capstone project. So it will give me all the pages with capstone project. User query will be coming in. Both will get combined. It will go to LLM. LLM will find out the best match of these two queries and it will respond back to the user. That is what this entire system does, right? And this system is known as RAG, RAG system. You must be listening this RAG term quite a lot these days. So this is a simple RAG system which we have built, right? Are you guys getting this, all of you, till this point? Okay. So RAG means what? RAG means nothing but retrieval augmented generation, right? Retrieval augmented generation. You are retrieving the data from your company's document and you are generating the output. Okay. And this is like one of the quite popular use case company are using, implementing that. Obviously, it's not productionalized, but companies are going ahead and implementing this in their companies as a POC, proof of concept. Okay. Now just think about the possibilities. This can be done. Think about the possibilities. Suppose I want to create one HR solution where I have the HR documentation, where I have all the rules and regulations. Think about a scenario, right? What all things can be achieved with this? What a powerful system coming in, and what all things can be achieved? See this. Suppose I have a database where I have the employee details, employee age, employee salary, employee leaves, and all those things. I have one PDF file where I have all the company policies, right? And now what I want is, user is asking how many leaves I left with. It will go and hit the database, check which user is asking about. It will hit and get the policy information, and combining this entire information, and it will go to the LLM, and LLM will respond, you are left with 5 leaves or something like that, right? This is again simple use case. Think about various different use case based on your industry which you are working with or working for, right? So this is a powerful application coming in, and this is what we have built here. I'll show you this again with the code. So this is my entire document. As of now, for demo purpose, I took a small document. Here is my config where I'm passing my OpenAI API. I'll show you how to get the API as well. Here is my API key. And this is my entire RAG engine, where what all things I am doing here. I am using this retriever, right? I am loading the data, that is the text file, using the text loader. Don't worry about the code and all. It's not a very difficult code. Once you learn Python, you will understand that. So don't worry about that. After that, I'm loading that. Then I'm splitting my text into chunks. That is the splits. After that, I am calling my OpenAI embedding. So OpenAI has its own model as well, which convert the text into numbers. As of now, I gave you a simple example of how to convert the text into numbers. But I told you that there are a lot of advanced techniques are also available. So I am using here OpenAI model to convert the text into numbers, right? So this is known as OpenAI embedding models. Embedding models क्या होता है? वो टेक्स्ट को इनपुट लेता है और उसको नंबर आउटपुट देता है. तो हमने क्या किया, हमने OpenAI का मॉडल लिया और उस सारे टेक्स्ट को हमने यहाँ पे पास कराया और उसको हमने नंबर पे कन्वर्ट किया, राइट? सो इट इज कन्वर्टिंग द टेक्स्ट टू न्यूमेरिकल वेक्टर्स. दैट इज डन. अब ए न्यूमेरिकल वेक्टर आई एम सेविंग वेयर? आई एम सेविंग इन माय वेक्टर डेटाबेस. यू कैन सी एम्बेडिंग को मैंने यहाँ पे बुलाया और उसको मैं वेक्टर डेटाबेस के अंदर सेव कर रहा हूँ. दैट इज व्हाट इट इज डूइंग. आफ्टर दैट उसने रिट्रीव किया. जब उसको रिट्रीव करना होगा, दिस विल हेल्प टू फाइंड द मोस्ट रिलेवेंट चंक. Suppose I am saying that I want the course which has the capstone project. So this particular statement will retrieve the important or most important chunks from that. कि अच्छा capstone project वो वाले chunk में पड़ा है, उसको उठा लो. Capstone project वो वाले chunk में पड़ा है, उसको उठा लो. Like that. So it will pick up that, right? It will return that. After that, I am using my LLM chat OpenAI. Temperature equal to 0 is basically more like I told you in the last class as well, right? It will give me the higher probable words. So when you make your temperature equal to 0, it will always pick the highest probability word. But when you make your temperature more than 1, what it will do, it will randomly choose the word. तो जब तुमको क्रिएटिविटी करनी है, then you can go with temperature higher value. But तुमको एकदम सटीक आंसर चाहिए, एकदम करेक्ट आंसर चाहिए, तो तुमको टेम्परेचर को 0 रखना पड़ेगा, right? That will reduce the randomization. That is what the temperature means. फिर यहाँ पर I am creating a chain, calling the LLM, retrieving the document and then returning the output. That's it. This is my entire code. कितना lines? Just 54 lines of code and my entire application gets created. Right? इसमें मैं एक बड़ा database डाल दूंगा, 54 lines में मेरा काम हो जाएगा. इसमें से आधी लाइन तो मैंने सिर्फ एक्सप्लेनेशन में दे रखा है, एक्चुअल में यहाँ पे सिर्फ 15-20 लाइन का कोड है, जस्ट अ 15-20 लाइन्स ऑफ कोड, राइट? दैट इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ पाइथन. Here is the environment file where I have store my this thing API key, and this is my final app, which is basically helping me to generate the front end. Okay. So now let me help you understand how will I get the API key quickly. So here I will click on this API keys, right? Once you create your account here, API key. This is the key which I am using for my application, but I can generate the new key as well. How? I will be going ahead and clicking on this create new secret key. I can give any name, let's say Deloitte. You can give any name, that's okay. And I will generating a default project and creating the key. So here is the key which I have. I will have to copy this key and I have to put it in my application. Okay, that's it. Is that making sense, all of you? Lot of things I discussed. I will stop today early. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But any doubts you have, what we have discussed, you can ask me. Right? We'll take the doubts now. Anything you want to ask, you can ask. But I hope you got the overview. People are talking. Let me go to LinkedIn as well. You can see हर दूसरा पोस्ट तुमको रैग में दिखेगा. So as of why I wanted to discuss all these things, because these are the current affairs and people are talking about that. तो when you are learning this entire things, right? जब तुम करिकुलम में रहोगे तो भी नई नई चीज तुमको सुनने में लगेगा, तो पता होना चाहिए कि क्या है. That's why I just wanted to introduce this. So if you see somewhere, यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं तुम्हें रैग दिखी जाएगा. Retrieval works, right? Vector database, retriever. अभी ये तुमको देख के इतना एलियन नहीं लगेगा, तुम्हें पता है कि रिट्रीवर क्या होता है, वेक्टर डेटाबेस क्या होता है. यू विल गेट द आइडिया. ये टॉप एआई एजेंट्स में कहीं में लिखा होगा. वैसे दिखता रहता है, अभी दिख नहीं रहा है. Anyways, in the meantime, any questions you have, let me know. I'll in the meantime search it. यहाँ पे देखो, कुछ ना कुछ तो ये करेक्टिव रैग, अडेप्टिव रैग, सिंपल रैग विथ मेमोरी, राइट? एजेंटिक रैग, सेल्फ रैग. रैग रैग बहुत दिखता रहेगा हर जगह. Anyways, but it's an important concept. People are using it quite extensively. कहीं ना कहीं तुम्हें भी दिख जाएगा, right? So this is what I wanted to discuss. Any doubts you have, let me. Anything you want me to ask? How is LLM linked with API? I am not able to understand. How is LLM linked to API? LLM is not linked to API. API is linked to LLM, right? First of all. So basically, the idea is that API is something like white board कहाँ चला गया? Just give me a second. Hmm. What is API? API is basically nothing but it's a way to connect some other application information to our machine, right? Now, what happening is that OpenAI has its own server where the entire OpenAI model is present, right? ये यूएस में कहीं पड़ा होगा, वहां पे सर्वर पे मॉडल है. Now I am present here using my laptop. I want to connect to this particular model. As I mentioned, I cannot download that because it's a very heavy model and it will be a lot of cost for me. 5 करोड़ कहाँ से लेके आऊंगा मैं, right? नहीं कर सकता. So I want to somehow connect this guy. Now how will I connect this guy? So they have given me their website, which is platform.openai.com, and they are saying that go to that website and generate one key. Now that key which you are this thing, right, which you are basically what do you say, uh, copying from their website, you are putting in your application. Now once you are putting this particular thing in your application, what is happening is that they are giving access to your LLM model through key. Now when I am going ahead and hitting my chatbot and asking some question, this key is going to your OpenAI model server and picks up the information and retrieves back the information, right? That is how it works. Is that what the question is? All right. Any other doubts, any other queries, let me know. This is what I wanted to cover. I just wanted to help you understand about this entire thing, right? So today we are ending this. Yesterday's class was more of a, I know you guys are aware of the things, but I just wanted to show you that these things you have to do in this entire curriculum, creating the blogs and all. I want you to create the blogs on a regular interval. That's why I purposefully put that class, because you have to do that, right? So that you can showcase the things to the larger audiences. Today also we learned about drag and all. So try to explore the things from your side now using ChatGPT and start putting that as a blog in your LinkedIn and all, right? So that will help people understand that you are aware of these latest technologies as well. Just try to create a simple blogs. No one is asking you to write complex blogs because people are also not aware of rags and all. So if you try to explain them in a simple layman language, then people will understand, people will like your blogs, right? So try to create and generate those type of blogs which is associated to these concepts. Okay. Any doubts, let me know, else I will end the session. I'll wait for 3 more minutes. If you have any doubts, you can ask. And to answer your question as well, Neha, that right, if there is no internet, your chatbot will not work. As simple as that. Because if you don't have internet, how it will contact to this guy, right? It's not possible. So internet connection should be there. Then only API calls will work. Else API calls will not work. Okay. So that is important. I have made a blog related to ChatGPT uses it. I'll check it. I'll check it. Jay. I did not get time. We can use napkin to create a visual of rack concept. Yes, you can do that. Yes, that's fine. You can use napkin. You can use any other tools. That's all. You can use Canva. Canva also help you to create nice infographics. All right. Cool. Then we'll see you in the next class. From next class, we are starting the statistics, right? I gave you the bit of mathematical intuition. So I know, like, again, if you guys are not coming from mathematical background, I hope still you are able to understand this, right? So the understanding of mathematics will be, I will try to make it as simple as possible. If you are not able to understand, you can let me know so that I can repeat that, or I can try to make it in a more simpler way. But if you understood today's concept, how this entire thing actually is working, then I think we are good, right? You should be able to understand all the other concepts as well. All right, so we'll see you in the next class. Till then, take care and have a nice day ahead.